How much money do you think you need to earn to be in the top 10% of Canadians? Is it 150K, maybe 200 or 250K? Well, in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how much it actually takes to be in the top 10, 5, and 1% of earners in Canada. Now, these numbers might surprise you. They definitely surprise me. And don't miss the end, where I'll compare these top earners to average incomes by age groups across Canada so you could see where you stand. To join the top 10% of individual income earners in Canada, you needed to earn at least $111,900 in total income as of 2022. Now, within that top 10% group, the median income is $147,100 and the average income is $197,900. Here's a table that shows the changes from 2018 to 2022. Now, I found a lot of this data pretty interesting. Some key trends and insights that I noted was, first of all, the rising entry bar to the top 10%. Now, between 2018 and 2022, the threshold to enter the top 10% rose by 14.3%, from $97,000 to around $111,000. Now, that reflects higher overall income levels among Canada's top earners. Then we have median versus average. By 2022, the average income was over $50,000 higher than the median of $147,100. Now, that gap shows how a small number of ultra-high earners are significantly lifting the average, highlighting growing income concentration at the very top. Billionaires like Jim Pattison, with an estimated net worth of over $11 billion, definitely skew the average here. Another thing I found very interesting was the economic resilience. Despite significant events like the COVID-19 pandemic, top earners continued to see pretty large income growth, highlighting how this segment remained relatively insulated from broader economic shocks. Then there's a growing inequality as both the median and average incomes in the top 10% rise faster than national income averages. The data points to a continued widening of income inequality in Canada. So I was actually surprised at how low these numbers were. I would have thought it took at least $150,000 to crack the top 10%, but it's only at $111,000. What do you think? Was it higher or lower than you thought? Let me know in the comments. What life looks like for the top 10%. Meet David, a top 10% earner in Canada. David is 37 and he works as an engineer in Calgary's oil and gas industry, and he earns around $120,000 a year. He lives with his partner and 2 kids in a nice 3-bedroom home, and it's not flashy, but it's very comfortable and manageable. They drive a hybrid SUV and a used hatchback. David's not cheap, but he's very intentional, and he automates his contributions to his RSPs. The family takes one nice vacation a year, maybe a cabin in BC or to Mexico or to somewhere in the US, and they can afford dinners out, sports and music lessons for the kids, and the occasional surprise expense without stress. He still keeps a careful eye on inflation, but there's peace of mind in knowing that they're prepared. Life in the top 10% is a lot like this. It's not exactly luxurious at all times, but it's stable, flexible, and full of quiet wins. Another key thing the top 10% do is track their wealth. Check out my free net worth tracker for Canadians. It's a simple way to stay on top of your finances. You can download for free, the link is in the description. Now let's talk about what it takes to be in the top 5% in Canada. To make it into this category, you need to earn at least $147,100 in total income as of 2022. Now within that top 5%, the median income needed is $193,800 and the average income is $269,200. And again, some very interesting trends and insights into this data. Again, there's a steady climb in the entry threshold between 2018 and 2022. The minimum income needed to reach the top 5% rose by 16.3%. Then again, you have your median versus average, where the average income for the top 5% was over $75,000 more than the median. Again, this indicates growing income concentration at the very top. Then you have high tax contribution, and that's not shown in this table. The top 5% of earners paid an average of $87,700 in income taxes in 2022, and they contributed over 41% of all federal and provincial personal income taxes, despite just being 1 in 20 of taxpayers. There's consistent membership. Roughly 76% of the top 5% earners in 2022 were also in this group the previous year, and 86% of them had been in the top 5% at least once in the prior 5 years. Now, this suggests that many high earners stay at the top for extended periods. What life looks like in the top 5%. Meet Rachel. Rachel is 45 and earns $160,000 as a senior policy analyst with the federal government, comfortably placing her in Canada's top 5%. She and her partner recently upgraded to a detached home in a quiet Ottawa suburb. It wasn't cheap, but thanks to dual incomes and disciplined savings, the mortgage is under control. Their household runs smoothly, with an SUV for the family, a leased electric car through Rachel's work, and no stress when something breaks or needs replacing. Every year they max out their RSPs and TFSAs, contribute to their kids' RESPs, and invest extra in a taxable account. But it's the lifestyle freedom that stands out. Their kids go to private school with a focus on arts and languages. They take international vacations every summer. There's France last year, Japan the year before, and they squeeze in weekend getaways to the lake. They eat out when they want to, splurge on clothes and gifts, and still sleep well at night knowing they're on track for retirement. Rachel doesn't flaunt her wealth, but she's quietly built a life of stability, flexibility, and future options. That's what being in the top 5% can buy you, not luxury for the sake of it, but peace of mind and freedom that most Canadians are still striving for. Now let's see, what does it take to be in the top 1% in Canada? Well, to reach this level, you needed to earn at least $283,200 in total income in 2022. Now, within that top 1%, the median income is $388,200, and the average income is $586,900. And some interesting trends and insights into this data. Again, big numbers, but there's bigger growth. From 2018 to 2022, the threshold to enter the top 1% jumped by 15.7%. The median income rose by nearly 14.7%, while average incomes rose by 18.3%, outpacing both inflation and broader wage growth in Canada. The rich truly do get richer. Now, looking at their median versus average, you could see that the average income for the top 1% was nearly $200,000 higher than the median. This huge gap is a clear sign of how much income is concentrated amongst the ultra elite, especially the top 0.1%. Not included in this table is their heavy tax contributions. The top 1% earners paid an average of $231,600 in income taxes in 2022. They contributed over 22% of all federal and provincial income taxes. Staying at the top, around 69% of top 1% earners in 2022 were also in the 1% the year before, and 96% have been in the top 5% at least once in the past 5 years. It's really hard to get into this club, but once you're in, many tend to stay there. And here's what life looks like in the top 1%. Meet Mark. Mark is 48 and runs a successful marketing agency and earns over $350,000 a year. He lives in Leaside, one of Toronto's most sought-after neighborhoods, with his partner and 2 kids. They own a detached home in the city and a lakeside cottage in Muskoka. The kids attend private school, play competitive hockey, and their calendar is packed with activities. Mark occasionally flies business class on points to places like Bali or Paris or Banff, wherever they feel like going. He maxes out his RSPs, TFSA, and RESP, but most of his wealth is in a holding company invested in real estate, stocks, and private deals. His advisory team meets with him quarterly to keep things running smoothly. Mark also gives back, donating to youth mental health causes and setting up a donor-advised fund to involve his kids. But don't mistake it for easy. Mark's calendar is jam-packed, and his business demands high performance, and rising taxes keep his advisory team very busy. Like a wise man once said, "Mo money, mo problems." Still, he lives by a work hard, play hard mentality, and he wouldn't trade the ability to work when he wants, invest how he wants, and build something lasting for his family for anything. Now let's compare the top earners to the average Canadian. Now here's a look at the median income for Canadians by age group. As you can see, there's a stark contrast. The median income is anywhere between $35,000 to about $60,000 for most Canadians. The highest median income from age 45 to 54 is still $51,500 below the top 10% threshold. And the top 5% threshold of $147,100 is more than double what most Canadians earn. And to get into the top 1%, you need to make nearly 6 times more than the average 25 to 34-year-old. Whether you're in the top or bottom 10, 5, or 1% of Canadians, remember, income is just the start. It's what you do with it that builds freedom, flexibility, and long-term wealth. Take the story of Ronald Reed, a janitor from Vermont who quietly amassed an $8 million fortune through simple, consistent investing. He didn't earn a high salary, but he made every dollar count. If you're ready to build a smarter plan around your income no matter what level you're at, visit our website and explore how our team can help. And hey, subscribe, like, and let's keep climbing that income ladder together.